Hi guys, Miss Brown here. Hope you're all doing well, reading lots of the BFG. Today I'm going to read Feeding Time. While the giants were being captured, a tremendous bustle and hustle was going on back home in England. Every earth digger and mechanical contrivance in the country had been mobilized to dig the colossal hole in which the 9 giants were to be permanently imprisoned. 10,000 men and 10,000 machines worked ceaselessly through the night under powerful arc lights, and the massive task was completed only just in time. The hole itself was about twice the size of a football field and 500 feet deep. The walls were perpendicular, and engineers had calculated that there was no way a giant could escape once he was put in. Even all 9 giants were to stand on each other's shoulders. The topmost giant would still be 50 feet from the top of the hole. The 9 giant-carrying helicopters covered over the massive pit. The giants, one by one, were lowered to the floor, but they were still trussed up, and now came the tricky business of releasing them from their bonds. Nobody wanted to go down and do this, because the moment a giant was freed, he would be sure to turn on the wretched person who had freed him and gobble him up. My dog Gypsy's whining over there. Gypsy, do you want to come say hi to the kids? Come here. Come on. Oh, come here. Here's Gypsy. Oh, say hi, guys. She sees dogs walking outside. She does not like the quarantine, do you? No. Well, she does, because we're home with her a lot. But say hi. Yeah, want to read? Oh, want to go play? You can read. Do you like when I read to her? As usual, the BFG had the answer. I was told before, he said, giants is never eating giants, so I is going down, and I shall untie them before you can say Jack Jobinson. Ooh, it's a cool picture. Giants all tied up. With thousands of fascinated spectators, including the Queen, peering down into the pit, the BFG was lowered on a rope. One by one, he released the giants. They stood up, stretched their stiffened limbs, and started leaping about in fury. "Why is they putting us down here in this gobsludging hole?" they shouted at the BFG. "Because you was guzzling human beings," the BFG answered. "I is always warning you not to do it, and you is never taking the titchiest bit of notice." "In that case," the flesh lump eater bellowed, "I think we is guzzling you instead." The BFG grabbed the dangling rope and was hoisted out of the pit just in time. The great bulging sack he had brought back with him from giant country lay at top of the pit. "What's in there?" the Queen asked. The BFG put an arm into the sack and pulled out a gigantic black and white striped object the size of a man. "Snozcumbers," he cried. "This is the repulsant Snozcumber Magister, and that is all we is going to give these disgustive giants from now on." "May I taste it?" the Queen asked. "Don't, Magister, don't," cried the BFG. "It is tasting a trog filth and pig squibble." With that, he tossed the Snozcumber down to the giants below. "There's your supper," he shouted. "Have a munch on that." He fished out the Snozcumbers from the sack and threw them. Interesting. Snozcumbers. The giants below howled and cursed. The BFG laughed. "Serves them right, left, and center," he said. "What will we feed them on when the Snozcumbers are all used up?" the Queen asked him. "They is never being used up, Magister," the BFG answered, smiling. "I is also bringing in this sack a bungle of Snozcumber plants, which I is giving, with your permission, to the royal gardener to put in the soil. Then we is having an everlasting supply of this repulsant food to feed these thirst-bloody giants on." "What a clever fellow you are," the Queen said. "You are not very well educated, but you are really nobody's fool. I can see that." Keep reading, guys. We miss you.